Hi, welcome back to our creative videos. I'm Pam Hayes from Hayes Sewing Machine Company, and today we're going to be working with the Easy Flippin' Sew Placemats.
Easier sewn than said?
Yes, sewn than said. This particular one is going to be working with the foam that by Annie has, and this particular one, that's going to be the end result.
Pretty.
Now, she'll give you all the measurements of what you need to cut, but basically, you need to mark on your foam 2 lines, about 2 inches in, then about 6 inches in. I have chosen to do the vertical, up and down for the piecing. You can also do it horizontal, and she'll give you the measurements in there on how to do that. So if you take a look again in the picture, horizontal, vertical.
Got it.
So when we are all finished, we should have a placemat that's done. We want to start with the bottom section, and then we're going to piece the way up. She will recommend in the pattern, she'll give you the measurement of what you need to do, but the first one and the last one, she wants you to trim it down a little bit, I guess, to do the math to get it to fit evenly. So what we're going to do, we're just going to lay this down. We're going to do this one right side up. And then we're going to go and we're going to put, so this one is right side up, wrong side down. And then we're going to line my next one up, and we're going to be doing a 1/4 inch seam. Ooh, wrong way. I'm doing 1/4 inch. So with this one, I'm going to just run the edge of the foot. I'm working with the 97D foot, so it'll give me a little bit of pulling through, which will help. Now remember, when you're working with it, you can also, if you don't have a dual feed foot, walking foot would work fine as well. All right, so now at this point, flip that up. We're going to go to my next one. Again, right side down. She says in here you can go and press them. You can press them, lightly with the iron. Remember, don't leave it too long. We never want to iron by smell.
It would also probably squash the soft and stable, right?
Yep, so we're going to go, and I'm just pressing it up with my fingers. I'll give it a press at the end. And you just keep moving along. What's nice, the pattern is going to give you what you need to cut out for 4 placemats. All right, so again, we're just keep moving straight up. Go to do my next one. Again, keep flipping them up. It's actually a pretty fast piecing project.
And it's kind of fun too, because of the foam, you're quilting it at the same time, right?
Yep, you're doing your quilting. Alrighty, and then we're going to do our next. Just try to keep it within the 2 marks.
Got it.
So, nice and simple. last one. Didn't take too long at all. And ta-da!
Nice.
So, nice and quick. Now, we're going to do 2 thin strips that are going to line up on either side. Okay, so just like that. You'll see how it's going to give it a nice border on either side. Alright, so that's one side. And then we're going to go and do the same thing on the other. You could pin this if you wanted to, but it actually just lays pretty well. The only thing you might want to consider is lengthening out your stitch, just to allow for the foam.
And what do you have yours on?
2.75.
Okay, so not a ton.
Just a smidgen. That technical term, smidgen. All right, and I'm just going to press these out. All right. And ta-da!
Lovely.
Now, they're also going to tell you of your main material. You have a bigger piece and a littler piece. So we're going to line this up. And obviously just match up the shapes. Put the smaller one on the smaller side.
Oh, really?
Yep. Heard it rumored it works better that way. Alright, and now we're going to do the same on the other. Now this one, I just kind of want to make sure that it's going up.
Mm-hmm.
This has kind of a one way. Or if you inadvertently did it the wrong way, just be consistent.
Okay.
All right, we're just going to give this a press. All right. Now, just to make it consistent with what I did on the first sample, we're going to also do the quilting. If you take a look, I did quilting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So we're going to go, and I measured, before we started the video, 1.5 inches. I'm using a friction pen. That way you can iron out. If you have a guide for your walking foot, you really only need to mark one, but I just wanted to give you the idea. You could also do, you know, diagonal, whatever you liked.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just make sure that's a little clearer. All right. I'm going to change to the walking foot to do this. And technically you could have done this entirely with the walking foot, even the piecing little bit that we did. So you never have problem putting a walking foot on. People are looking at me. Alrighty. Now I will lengthen out the stitch a little bit more, so I'm going to go to about 3. And we're just going to line up. All right, and we just keep on going all the way over. Now, this portion that we're doing here, you don't actually need to do. I just thought it looked a little, you know, finished, more finished to me. So I put some quilting in, but you do not need to. It's not a prerequisite. I thought it just gave it a little bit of interest.
It does.
And you could get fancy, you could use variegated thread.
Do a decorative stitch.
Decorative stitch. The only little warning I'll give about doing a decorative stitch is try a sample one first, just to make sure it doesn't take you, you know, it's a placemat. It shouldn't take you 5 hours.
Okay, gotcha. Keep it simple, huh?
Yep. All right, and I got one more row. And what's nice with doing it with the friction pens is if you iron it, ta-da, all the marks
Okay.
are gone.
Can you flip it over? Because I think
Sure.
in the camera they'll be able to see better.
There you go. I don't know where
Little
that
piece
came
of,
from. There you go.
piece of paper there. Awesome. All right.
All right.
thank you.
Now, next thing you need to do is you need to, she purposely cuts this a little bit bigger. And you need to go, and we're going to trim it a little bit. So, from side to side, we need this to be 13. So you're not going to be trimming it much. So we're just going to trim it up a smidge. And let me turn it around so I don't get myself into trouble. Okay, so we're just making it pretty and neat. So 13 by 18. And flipping it over. Okay. All right, so all pretty and neat.
Mm-hmm.
Now at this point, talk among yourselves for a second. There you go. Just want to make sure I got the next step right. All right, so this is our backing, and this is going to be wrapped around to the front.
So that's going to create your binding as well?
That's going to create my binding. If you did your measurements right, it should be basically about an inch all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're extending about an inch. So at this point, she wants you to stitch at about 1/8 of an inch on the front. So just a little tiny bit, just to hold everything down. So like I said, 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit all the way around. I'm also going to put some pins in here so it does not shift or do anything strange. All right. So I'm pretty much just going to line it up along the inside edge of the toe.
All right, if you hang on for just a second.
So the mark on, Bernina has a 1/4 inch mark right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to go inside that toe. And again, at this point, what you're sewing now is going to show on the back, if what you have in the bobbin. So, you know, just keep that in mind. You might want to not have your black thread. All right, and we're just going to stitch all the way around. Again, we want it to be our 1/8 of an inch. And the walking foot will help with shifting as well. Alright, so this is the third side. We just have one more to go and a little bit. All right, so that part is done. We're just going to trim anything up, take the pins out. You will need pins or clips for this next step. All right, come over to the ironing board with me. Okay, in the pattern, she has us do the top and the bottom first, so the long sides. So she wants you to flip this over, and you see how I'm matching the raw edge of the backing to the raw edge, just like so. And then we're going to take it and we're going to flip it one more time. Don't be too heavy-handed when you kind of drag your iron along here, because it can distort it a little bit. So just pop it down. I'm going to turn it around, and then I'm going to definitely pin this. Pin, clips, whatever works for you. But you want to have it so it's down. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing to the other long side. All right, so we're going to get that in, flip it up. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, she has you sew these two long sides first, and then we go and we do the other side. So there is no mitering of corners. Some people do great with mitering with corners. Some people, I tell them to miter a corner, and then they have, you know, geometry flashbacks. So this is just a nice, simple way of doing it. All right, so.
It is a placemat. It is a placemat.
Yeah, it is a placemat, you know. I don't think most people are going to send this to Paducah to be judged. All right, so again, just run it about 1/8 of an inch for your top stitch. You want it just to be nice and a little decorative. Normally you know me, I sew Mach 2 with my hair on fire, but this one I am going to slow down a little bit so I can get my top stitch looking nice. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And the walking foot really does help pull it through nice and even.
And I'm just noticing you're starting and stopping right with the placemat. You're not
Yeah.
going all the way to the end.
Yeah,
All right. I'm not
because then it'll look
sure. Look prettier.
Look prettier. All right, come back over to the iron. Sorry, Loretta, giving you a workout today.
No issues.
All right, and the same thing we just did. Flip it. Press. Okay. Flip it again, you know, just like we did a second ago. That's one thing that's nice with this, is repetitive. Why am I surprised? Alrighty. So we're going to pin that, flip it around. So you can see this doesn't actually take a long time to do, this particular project. So if you're starting your projects for the new year, you need a little bit of a quick one to jump start you again. This one's nice. It's just enough to keep you interested. But it's not so complicated that you're like, nope.
Don't want to start with an unfinished project.
Oh, you can, but a lot of times I need I need the joy of starting something.
Oh, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that you couldn't start with an unfinished project you already had.
Oh.
I was saying we don't want to make another unfinished
Yes, you
project.
don't want to make one. That's true. And I've also done with these, sometimes I've had a placemat that I don't necessarily want to use as a placemat. So what I've done because I knit and I love bags, I have put them together.
Oh, cool.
And
Hang on for a second. Let me back up so they can see that whole thing.
okay. So what I do is I put them together. I sew a zip. I just flatten it. You know, I go like this first. Okay. I just put a zipper
In between.
underneath, top stitch that. You do see the tape, but
Yeah.
it's
Match
a bag.
the tape. Yeah.
And then I fold it, and I then do stitch all the way around, and
Voila.
pouch.
A knitting pouch. How cool is that?
Yep. So
Very cool.
because we all can't have too many pouches and that type of thing. It's like you can't have too many tote bags. Though I think I am getting close to that. All right, again, we're going to stitch. Again, try to do it nice and near the folds. And then flip it around, do the other side. And I just need to trim up some threads. And ta-da! Done.
Yay!
And what's nice, all they see on the back side is your top stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And everything looks nice and neat.
Beautiful.
All right. So hope to see you guys next time.